What is up, Butt Check fam? Welcome back to yet again a beautiful morning, a beautiful weekend of checking these buttons. Thank you guys for tuning in. Chapters down below if you want to skip around as always to a different kind of subject. Why would I say it? Anyway, if you want to skip around, also if you want to subscribe, thank you guys for helping the channel grow. Without further ado, let's go. All right, now into the first set of God's canceled buttons that need to be checked. This one pops off in the world, of course, of Chris G, right? NY Chris G. Y'all may have known, right? Some years, I want to say, I could be wrong, but I want to say it was like around 2000, like what was it, 2020? Like during COVID, when there was a lot of people like getting canceled left and right? There was a lot of stuff going on. I think it was the same time that FChamp got canceled, right? Or I should say like banned. I'm not even sure. Was he banned? Don't you think this is the weirdest year? We've had like, it seems like more bans than ever from tournaments when we even had no fucking tournaments this year. Like this is like getting fired on your day off. Like how do we get the most banned from tournaments with no tournaments? But of course, keep in mind, people are not only getting banned for this year, but for next year and possibly the following years as well.
Bad. I don't understand getting banned from a video game tournament from doing something at your home.
And then shortly after, I can't remember if it was before or after, Chris G came out and he was dropped. He wasn't banned, but he was dropped from, what was it, Evil Geniuses? And he was dropped, I believe, for some comments that he had made years before. I'm not sure if it was anywhere from like 3 to 5 years before or something like that. So it was a lot of controversy. You had people on both sides of the fence. A lot of people got pissed off on both sides of the fence. It was a lot. I'm sure a lot of you probably remember how it went down. But anyway, since then, shortly after, they kind of came together and they started their own like podcast, you know what I'm saying? Started creating content entitled The Gods Canceled with FChamp and Chris G, right? Airing out their sides of the story, playing games, having a good time, just kind of chopping it up. Well, it looks like they also started a new series, and this could have been started, you know, prior to this, obviously, where they're starting to interview other people that are quote unquote canceled, right? And recently they interviewed none other than Infiltration. Right here posting this saying, for all your viewing pleasure, episode X of The Gods Canceled with Infiltration is now on YouTube. Now definitely post the link down below so you can watch the full episode. They talked about some really good subjects, so definitely check it out. We're gonna check out some clips of Infiltration talking about how he feels being banned and so far not being able to compete in the biggest CPT coming up, right, for the $2 million and whatnot. Let's check it out.
Infiltration government, what kind of code of conduct he violated. They didn't say nothing. They just gave a link to the code of conduct, and that was it.
Wow. So now a lot of people mentioned a bunch of reasons why you got banned, right? Again, it could still be from the past. It could be from the bracket, you know, situation. And of course, you know, they're saying that the N-word, but that's obviously not true. Or do you think that this was made already like weeks in advance? Do you think this was a decision that they already had, considering that you might be coming back?
He kind of guesses because of the past like stuff that happened, you know, like whole incident with ex-wife, you know, that bracket situation, etc. That's what he guesses, because when he went to EVO in 2019 and later online CPT, he didn't really do anything to like violate code of conduct, right? So that can't really be the reason. So what he guesses is it's probably the bad image, right? Like Infiltration's got that really bad image in the FGC. So like he guesses that's the reason, but the reason why they didn't really say anything officially, the reason, just say code of conduct, right? Code of conduct BS, because he guesses it would be too shameful to say, oh, you're not good for our brand image, you know, like if you come to our tournament, our brand image is ruined. They can't really say that, can't they, right? In the official statement, no less. Or like they can't really like say out loud like, oh, you did this with your ex-wife, you did this with the bracket. Like, as a tournament in a brand, like, they can't really say that out public, right? So, that's what he guesses. Like, Infiltration's like, oh, maybe they just said code of conduct BS.
All I can do, really, is use myself as an example, right? Your situations, right, was obviously 2018, right? And then, of course, The tournament was March 2021. So, you're banned, right, May 20th, 2022. So, obviously at this point, Evo's coming up. And now that I remember you talking about that you had your flights and stuff ready to go to these tournaments, and just for them to tell you no. I 100% think you're right that they just didn't want to look bad. But at the same time, if that was the case, why aren't more people banned? You know, let's just be honest. Why was I still allowed? All right, I got let go from Evil Geniuses. I got dropped from the Summit of Time, you know, and then so many other situations, right? So why was the exception me, and of course other people that got in trouble, but you weren't allowed, right? And I think it's crazy to me, and I would love to have an answer, and I'm pretty sure Infiltration, you would love to have an answer as well, you know. So this goes out to whoever the hell is on that bogus code of conduct team. Why was Infiltration banned in the first place, right?
I feel the TOs and who has power and money, very, very famous in US FGC, they afraid me. They afraid me. Because imagine guys, if Infiltration is nothing, he just got 0-2 in a pool, he always losing, he always lost very fast in the tournament, they doesn't care about myself. But Infiltration has possibility to winning. So they afraid me. So, and this is fact. So that makes me, I am very strong. So I'm very confident. I'm innocent. So I don't care about that. I'm still love the FGC who playing fighting games, not fake FGC.
All right, damn. So there's a lot of interesting points, right? For one, he kind of breaks down why he said the N-word and that he's from a different culture and he was taught a different way when he came to the US and he was using it around his friends. Chris G made the comment saying he's not going to go into who specifically says the N-word in the FGC, but it's definitely everybody from what Chris G is saying. And I remember that argument during that whole thing. A lot of people were like naming people saying, well, such and such and such and such and such and such, who's not black, says the N-word. What y'all fit to do? You know what I'm saying? Why we just point at this man? And Chris brings up the argument saying, you know, at this time you had already been banned or whatever. People were already kind of targeting you. You gave them ammo. You said it on stream. You said it online. You just gave them something else to use, to build the fire. Then they make this other huge point like, well, if you're banned for this thing that you possibly did in your personal life, how come there's not so many others? He even included himself. He was like, I was dropped, but I wasn't banned. You know what I'm saying? Why do I get the pass or the so-called pass? You know what I'm saying? And you're banned. Like you can't even compete right now on the CPT at Evo and yada yada. They go on to say if they really cared about that, why are we not digging into everybody's personal life or personal offenses they did that are non-video game related? Then they bring up the point, it's because you're a champion. It's because they know you are good enough to win everything. And Infiltration made the point saying they're afraid of me because they know I could beat everybody. They know I could possibly be the face, the champion, you know what I'm saying? And if I am that, it can make them look bad because they can get bad publicity and they're not willing to go there. Therefore, I am banned. If I was the guy that just went 0-2 all the time, they wouldn't give a shit. But because I'm champion material, they're afraid of me. Ooh, that's deep. What do y'all think? You think there's truth to that? Let me know. That's a deep topic. And then there was even another point brought up. Chris G went on, I think it was Twitter after that. He was like, wait a minute. Because I give this man a platform to speak, like to get his point of view, now all of a sudden I'm worse than Hitler. Like I'm a bad guy now because people went on posting like, we need to shut this down, kind of like this is bullshit. Basically being mad at Chris G for even talking to Infiltration. And I want to give the shout out to the homie Com Warrior because he kind of tagged me in all this. And we did an episode earlier where he was kind of pointing out like, yo, Button Check has a purpose. You will have conversations with people that others in the community are not willing to have, and I respect you for that.
You have a lot of parallels to Trevor Noah. You're a comedian that does the news, that grabs a lot of information from social media, gives your take on it. You're also willing to sit and interview polarizing people. Gutex is extremely polarizing, and you are willing to have a fair conversation with that man. And I think that type of interview skill, that type of candor, that willingness to have and give people like that a platform is necessary, especially in our space.
And real talk, I mean, Chris, if you happen to be watching this, as soon as I saw it, I knew that's what you were gonna get. And as soon as you started posting those comments, I could instantly relate because I got the same thing. I interviewed Infiltration. I have friends that went to Evo like after that and stuff, and they told me that people told them, just random people, right, that they were like, they don't like Button Check, yada, yada. And one of the reasons was because I interviewed Infiltration, or I interviewed Gutex. And I told him, I go, you know the crazy thing, when I first started Button Check, I literally was under the false impression, right? Like a dummy, thinking it's just for the community. We're all gonna be friends because I had a lot of friends in the community. It was good. And the bigger the channel got, the more friends I lost, and I couldn't figure it out. And because they're fake friends. FGC is full of fake ass you know what. And now I realize the purpose, the underlying reason, the whole reason why Button Check actually exists. It's not just to do news, but it's to push it. It's to push that maturity level. It's to push that uncomfortableness that is in that fake wokeness that's in the FGC. The people that will talk about people, they'll talk to them personally. They'll be cool with them personally, like off stream and in person. It's all good, but they're afraid of shit. They're scared of shit to talk in public or talk on Twitter because they're afraid to lose the rep. They're afraid people are going to judge them, or they're afraid they're about to lose their sponsor, CPT, and all like that. It's fake. So many people are fake in the FGC. And I realized, okay, well, Button Check is not that. Button Check has to be that thing. It has to be that news source and that place that's going to be fair to everybody, right? Whether you're on the left or whether you're on the right, we all get a chance and a time to tell our side of the story point blank. And because of that, obviously, you might feel some type of way. You might not like me. You might not like Button Check. But at the end of the day, we're going to have those conversations because we are adults. And that's just what it is. So I can completely relate to this, right? Whether you agree with Chris G or disagree with him or FChamp or Infiltration, all I'm saying is I can relate. That it is, ladies and gents. Definitely let me know how you are feeling. This one turns out to be an interesting episode because I actually had multiple topics. This was just supposed to be one topic. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I was supposed to have 3, but it went longer than it was supposed to. So that's basically, this is the episode. Obviously, I have chapters down below. There's multiple things to talk about. Like I said, this one got pretty deep. One more again, thank you for the amazing love. Please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And as always, I don't know what it is, but I know, hey, it's about to get better. Love y'all forever. Peace. Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe. All right, before we get out of here, I got to give a huge shout out to Gremlin right here, or at Smolgobo, if I'm saying that correctly. It says, Gremlin, I am Corgi, she, they, Seattle furry. You know how we've been talking about the Cammy stretch? Well, a lot of people have. We did a last, episode about it and whatnot. So apparently she drew me doing the Cammy stretch right here, saying Ernesto seems to really like the new Cammy pose in Street Fighter 6. Here he is flexing on her. Who did it better? You see Cammy right here, and right here you see Nesto Money, baby, doing the stretch right here with the hat, with the Button Check sweater. I love it. Even got my goatee, got my little beard right here. I love it. I gotta say, I think I'm giving Cammy a run for the money. I look good. I look good. I look good. Look how good I look. Okay, maybe not that good. It's drawn good. It's drawn fantastic. But let's leave the stretching to Cammy. Like I said, let's leave it to Cammy.